bumpy lines and the directions are sometimes not always how you want it to be. So I use the pen tool to make outlines for my drawings. And the way I do that is, I'll just remove this one first, like that, and Control X. The way I do that is that I am usually making a sketch first. Sometimes I scan a sketch, a hand-drawn sketch, and scan it into my computer and use that as a sketch, or I draw a sketch here on Photoshop, like for example the one we made here. Could use that as a sketch. And to make that a sketch layer, I'll go up here in opacity and just make it more transparent, because now I can still see my sketch, but I can also draw on top of it. And I'll do that here in my pen layer, and I go down here and choose the pen tool. Now I can start using my pen tool to draw my outline, and I use a sketch as kind of a guideline on how I wanted it to be, like that. And the great thing with the pen tool is that you can make these beautiful curves and just the way you want them. And of course you can just adjust them along the way and add to them and all that stuff that we talked about earlier. But I'll just do this in a bit fast manner, I can see, like that. As you can see, it takes a lot of practice, and this is not a quick job, really. It takes a long time to use the pen tool, but I think that when you look at this, it's just more crisp than the one with the hand-drawn sketch. So now if I thought that this was my drawing, like that, I could remove my sketch layer, and then I had my outline. So this is really the basics on how you can use a brush to make a sketch and the pen tool to make the outline afterwards. But I'll show you a little extra, because when I first got started, I wanted really badly to be able to make these faded lines where you have the lines fading a bit in the end, and I just didn't know how to do that. So I started using my eraser and modifying all my lines in the end, and it just took really long time and made it really hard work. But I'll show you how you can make these beautiful lines without having to use your eraser also. First of all, you choose the brush and go up here in the window and choose the brush window, and you get this one. Then you choose the shape dynamics, and over here on controls you choose fade. So now you can see down here that the line has really faded away, and the number highlighted here is the length of your stroke. So if I make that 250, you can see down here that the stroke got even longer, and you can even choose how much it's gonna fade, or if it's not gonna fade at all, really. So like that. So I can choose to try and draw with this one with my pen tool, like that, and you can see that it has faded a bit, but then it went into just a thin little line here. And sometimes that's just exactly what you want, and sometimes you don't want that line in the end. So you can go back here and make it fade even more, like that. You can see the line down here, the stroke got even smaller. So I'll do that again. I'll try to make a line that looks almost the same, like that. Now you can see it really fades out here in the end. But the one thing I've been struggling with, and still is sometimes, is that if you make it fade like that, you also make the line shorter. So you can make these long lines like this. But you can cheat it a bit by making the length over here longer. So I'll just make it 400, and that way you can cheat it a little bit like that. Then we see how long it's gonna get. You see, now it has got longer. So you can play a little around with that, and you can use that for everything, but of course it can be a struggle. Like if I wanted this one to be that long, sometimes I've done a thing like this and just tried to combine two lines like that, but it's a bit hard sometimes. And you see, if I made a short line like this, the fade out got even more beautiful really than this one. So it depends on what you're drawing and how big it is and the details of it. Because if I'm making a little detail like this one, you can see there's no fade out at all. Really no fade out. And that's because the length of my stroke is too long. So I can go over here and choose it to just be 100. You can see down here it got really smaller. So I'll make that again like that. And now you can see the fade out down under there. So I'm playing a lot around with this one because I think it's a lot of fun and it gives a really great look to it. But it takes some practice, and it all depends on what you're drawing, the size of it, the details and stuff like that. But it was just a little tip if you wanted to try to make these little lines without drawing them yourself or using the eraser or stuff like that. So I think that was all for this tutorial, and I will thank you for joining in, and hope you have a nice day. Bye bye.